Exclusive on Sky Sports, Friday fight night from the Harvey Hadden Leisure Centre here in Nottingham. Tonight we begin with your chief supporting contest. Please welcome to the ring your champion, Too Smooth, Jason Boo!
Back in front of his home city's fans for the first time in 4.5 years, their old favourite, Jason Too Smooth Boo, who along with brother Nicky became boxing cult characters in Nottingham. He's 30 now, a champion again, and Jim, the story rolls on.
Yeah, it rolls on. Jason has always been good value, and with maybe just a couple of little bits of luck at different times during his career, he could have had a totally different career. But it's good to see him defending a title at the age of 30 here. He's maybe had it a little bit easy winning this title, but if anybody deserves a couple of favours from the game, it's Jason Boo. So now we have a surprise package tonight, but he'll have all the tools sharpened and ready for whatever comes his way. Great little professional.
The officials appointed for this contest by the British Boxing Board of Control in conjunction with the Commonwealth Council. Your Commonwealth Boxing Supervisor, Mr. Simon Block. Your steward in charge, Tony Bayan. Your timekeeper, Tony Dunkley. And the judges at ringside are Terry O'Connor from Birmingham, Dave Paris of Leeds, and Mickey Van of Leeds. When the action begins, the third man in the ring will be your referee from Preston, Phil Edwards. And now we present 12 3-minute rounds of boxing for the Bantamweight Championship of the Commonwealth. Introducing firstly in the red corner, wearing the Ghanaian red trunks, ladies and gentlemen, yellow and green. He fights out of Accra in Ghana and weighs out at 8 stone, 4 pounds, 9 ounces. Tonight he enters the ring with a professional record, 13 fights, 11 wins, 6 wins coming by way of knockout against a single defeat and a single draw. Tonight, he is your challenger. Please welcome Lante Addy. And across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the white trunks with silver trim, local boy fighting out of Nottingham and weighing in at 8 stone, 3 pounds and 13 ounces. He enters the ring with a 33-fight professional record, 28 wins, 11 wins coming by way of knockout against only 5 defeats. He is a former British and Commonwealth flyweight champion and your reigning Commonwealth bantamweight champion tonight, making his first defense. Please welcome Too Smooth, Jason Boo! Boxers, please.
Gentlemen, you've had your instructions in the dressing room. You know what I expect of you both. Follow my instructions. Keep your punches on the target area. Be careful with your heads in close. Touch gloves. Good luck.
Phil Edwards, the referee, deep into his 12th professional year now. He's endured his fair share of ups and downs. Jason Booth continuing to ply his trade rather effectively, coming off the win over Matthew Edmonds just before Christmas. Now the first defence of the Commonwealth 8 stone 6 belt round against the largely unknown African Lante Addy, which always possesses a danger.
Yep, you don't quite know what to expect. They look very, very calm in the corner before the introductions there. I was thinking, is he just a little bit too calm? Hope he's not in shock. But we're just about to find out, so good sharp start from Booth. First couple of punches land on target.
Booth does not know what to expect. Addy, who's won 11 of 13, 1 defeat and 1 draw. Difficult record to really assess. The mandatory challenger for this belt, though.
Already
there's a cut.
It looked like a cut. It's a bit of lint or something.
It's just a little bit of red thread on the top of the head of Addy. No blood yet, thankfully. Booth's such a nice boxer, uses the jab well, puts his combinations together thoroughly, And he'll be doing the same thing you'd have thought early on here.
Well,
Okay.
first impressions of Addy, he looks physically strong and tough. He winds his punches up a little bit obvious in what he's intending doing, but he's pumping some shots into the body there. I don't think he'll be too difficult to work out. He looks a little bit crude, but very strong, very determined. So certainly not overawed.
From Accra in Ghana. Well, they've produced so many champions over the years, and they're normally gritty and tough and strong campaigners. Booth looks bigger at the moment in the ring, despite the fact he only weighed in at 8'3", and he was 8'4", both comfortably inside the 8 stone 6 limit.
I think the fact that Addy looks just a little bit crude in the early stages, I mean, maybe counter-punching for a couple of rounds, get a couple of rounds in the bank might be a good idea for Booth, because I don't think this is a fellow you want to stand and trade with. I mean, he looks very strong.
Got to take loose on the right glove of Addy. Just wailing forward.
Booth standing his ground too long here, I think. He should be using the ring a little bit more, use his skills. You can make this fellow miss and then get your punches off. You don't want to be trading punches with him.
Solid jab from Booth, who technically will have the superiority in the bags of experience over the years. He's seasoned and knows what he's doing in the ring.
Well, Addy, he doesn't look quick, he looks a bit predictable, but he's certainly long range right hand, bang on the target. I think Booth wants to be using the ring just a little bit more.
Good right hands from Addy.
Addy was effective in the last half minute of the round or so, but I think Booth nicked the early stages.
Welcome back to the Harvey Hadden Leisure Centre here in North Nottingham, about a mile away from Jason Booth's Strelly home. Hasn't had to come far. How tough a fight's he got on his hands?
Corners 10 seconds.
The last half minute or so of the round, Addy did some effective work.
Seconds out,
so we don't want to see him picking up where he left off.
34th outing for Jason Booth, who turned way back in June 1996 up against Lante Addy, this 25-year-old from Ghana, who's looking for the big win, challenging for the Commonwealth title. The Ghanaian colours of Addy and the white of Booth. Booth should be cuter here on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, but I think he wants to be mobile in this one, certainly in the first half of the fight, because Addy, he looks very strong, he sets himself, he's a little bit crude, he throws long, wide punches, so it shouldn't be too difficult to counter if Booth is sharp, as he usually is. Good work now from Booth. Just doesn't want to stand his ground too long. This fella has to get close, so you don't want that to allow that.
Winging in the hooks. Addy, as Booth turns southpaw. We've seen him do that once or twice along the way, just shoves Addy over. Booth admitted beforehand, he knew nothing about Addy. There were no tapes. How do you prepare for that, Jim?
Well, just as I said, as he came into the ring, he's a good little pro, so everything will be ready. All you can do is good sparring, get all the tools sharpened as they should be. But Booth at his best, what I've seen from Addy in the early stages, he looks powerful, he looks strong, he looks as though he can punch a little bit. But Booth looks far cuter, far more talented, so it's just a case of using that talent and not getting involved. He's boxing well at the moment, Booth.
It's time to find the body shots too, those elbows high of Addy. There's a big target there around the midriff for Booth to exploit.
See, against the strong, aggressive fighters, you don't want to counter every punch they throw, and that's what Booth's doing at the moment, so you're going to get caught when they put two and four punches out. So maybe just pick his spots when to counter, use the ring a little bit more, just keep mobile.
Break! One step.
Now he just keeps coming forward, throwing the big shots. That was a bit low.
Watch your heads, both of you.
Right hand wasn't right on target, and they open up here in the second.
Well, this is another round where Addy's become more effective in the last half minute or so. Not much success in the first couple of minutes. So that could be a little bit ominous over the 12-round distance. He looks very strong. He looks in good shape. Good work there from Booth. But again, in the last half minute of this round, standing his ground too much. Balked well for the first couple. So signs are this could be a tough one for him.
Bit of blood to the lip of Jason Booth. Good finish to the second from Lante Addy. But again, Booth's round.
Friday Fight Night live from Manchester next week. Want to look forward to David Barnes against Ted Bammy for the British light welterweight title. That's next Friday, 9:30. Make a note of the channel, Sky Sports 2.
Quarters, 10 seconds.
Yep, the slick southpaw against the orthodox puncher. Great clash of styles. We might have a good
Seconds out,
blend here.
round 3.
Very interesting defence of the Commonwealth Bantamweight title by Jason Booth. His brother Nicky used to hold this crown. Jason, a former British and Commonwealth flyweight champion as well, and he's failed on the European level circuit 3 times. A good fighter. He's up against Lante Addy, who, Jim, has been improving as these sessions have been closing.
Yeah, that's the worry. The last half minute of the rounds, he's done his most impressive work. He's widened his stance now, so he wants a bit more aggressive. Nice punch picking from Booth. This is what I feel he should be doing. Just pick some nice punches and get himself out of there. I think he's standing his ground at times, which will suit Addy. Addy looks very strong. He's crude, but he gets leverage into those shots. You see him widening his stance just to get more leverage. So Booth doesn't want to be standing there with him.
Yeah, Addy seems rugged. In 12 rounds a couple of times before, and 10 as well in his 3rd fight. So he might just get better as the minutes tick by.
And that's nice stuff there from Booth.
Yeah, the class should be with the Nottingham fighter, no doubt about that.
See, I wouldn't bother leading off in the first few rounds because this fellow's crude. He telegraphs most of his punches, so Booth could make him miss just with little half steps to the side, back, then come in with the counters. Doesn't have to be leading off, taking chances early.
The odd right hands, though, getting in from Addy.
See, standing there, that's Addy's style of fight. That's what he wants. This is better. On the move, just pick the shots and get out of there. He could confuse this fellow.
Using his feet well there, Jason Booth. It's a major part of his makeup as well. Has been a slickster over the years, not a big banger or anything. Just wears you down. Crisp shots. Now this is the sort of time in the rounds that Addy's been coming on. Let's have a look, see if he does it now.
Yeah, well, this is where Booth should change the tactics, go on the move a little bit if he's had the better of things in the first couple of rounds, although this round's been closer than the opening too. I mean, Addy started earlier than this round, but I still feel that the accurate stuff just maybe slightly in Booth's favour. See that little half step back he showed there and then back in again. That's exactly what's required here. Because he can make Addy miss badly, leave him off balance, then come back in with the counters.
Just leaning in there, Booth. But flicks round well. Addy trying the body shots. Battle of attrition, left hand from Booth. Down goes Addy. There's the first breakthrough, and Jason Booth, the champion, has it. Bell goes. And he's all right. Phil Edwards, I don't think, heard it in all the noise at ringside, but Addy's down. And that, well, one up for Booth.
Yeah, well, Addy didn't finish that round better, that's for sure. He picked that punch out nicely. I don't think Addy was badly hurt by it, but Booth seemed just to be that little bit sharper in the last half minute of that round. Lovely punch and a big round for him. I think it could be quite important that he's ahead at the halfway stage of this one, because I think Addy is going to be there. He's going to keep coming forward. They look strong, but that was a beautifully picked left hook. Wasn't badly hurt, but big round for Booth.
Quarters, 10 seconds.
Tony Harris, the man that has
Seconds
helped
out,
revitalise Jason Booth, done a great job. Here's the 4th round, the black and white boots and the white shorts of Jason Booth, aiming for a first successful defence of this Commonwealth 8 stone 6 crown. Lante Addy down in the third, trying to get back in, but Booth knows he can hurt him now. Going to the body and starting to whip some of these punches in. Better from Booth.
Yep, a lot more confidence in Booth's work there, but I think he has to realise it didn't really hurt Addy. It was a good punch, he decked him, but didn't seriously hurt him, so a long way to go. Just keep thinking your way around this one.
Good jabs and body shot, left hand, that did hurt Addy. And Jason Booth is starting to find the punches. Will Addy live with him, or will he begin to unravel?
And Booth has the better defence too. Left hooks are working well. See, Addy's very crude, not a very tight defence, so I mean this early signs as a fight that Booth should be winning, but at times he seems to want to fight Addy's kind of fight.
He's got to be careful of the odd counter, Booth.
Good left hook again.
Technically, he is the master in there. The man who got to the European Juniors and a clean sweep of the national junior titles as an amateur too. Once had 24 amateur fights in a year. He's kept busy, Jason Booth. He's had his problems outside the ring, but he's a good fighter. And he doesn't mind a scrap when he has to.
Nope, he doesn't mind a tear up, and Addy not getting the punches out quite so quickly up close as he was in the earlier rounds. So signs maybe he's becoming a little bit uncomfortable with the pace. Good work here from Booth. Lovely uppercut.
Yeah, he's up the pace here. A real injection from Jason Booth. Addy fires back. He's brave, all right. The Ghanaian.
Been missing badly at Addy in this round. Booth picking them nicely, very accurate by contrast. Good round from Booth here.
Yeah, slapping and missing over the top, and Booth just digs in one to the body. He picks his punches well. They're accurate. Not bad for a 30-year-old bantamweight.
Not bad at all, and it's nice maybe if Addy felt the advantages he had was in the strength and the power, and Booth pushing him back in this round. Just a little bit careless there.
Yeah, just occasionally the right squeak in, but another good round for Booth.
Okay, you're doing well.
Atmospheric night in Nottingham.
Let's move now.
Title action galore.
You've got the game
Jason
plan
Booth,
right.
Lante Addy at the moment. But coming up, the man that Booth spars with, Rendell Munro, has a challenge for the European Super Bantamweight crown against the heavy-handed, and I mean heavy-handed, Kiko Martinez. That should be fascinating. This one's not bad, and Booth is in the ascendancy. That's what you sense here, Jim.
Yeah, but I think since the knockdown, he knows he has the power, although Addy wasn't seriously hurt. But he's now stepping in with the hooks. When he's standing his ground, he's letting punches go, not allowing the Addy to take the initiative. That's good work. I just like to see him punching when he's in range, when he's not going to punch, get back out of there and use the movement. But he's boxing beautifully at the moment.
Plenty of people in the boxing trade have a great deal of respect for Jason Booth. Not only has he entertained us over the years, but he's come back from alcohol problems and trouble in his life. And he's knuckled down to gym work, and he's given himself a new lease of life.
Yeah, and it's great to see it happen for him. But when he's using his skills here, Addy can't even set an attack up. He doesn't quite know what to do with them. It's when Booth stops and stands in front of Addy, then he can get some punches off. So plenty of movement, plenty of punching as soon as he's in range, and that's what he's doing at the moment.
11 knockouts in his 28 wins, and they were talking in the corner, Tony Harris and Jason Booth, about the fact that they don't think Addy likes it to the body.
Well, Addy getting through with some punches here, so maybe another time and a little switch of tactics from Booth is in order. Now and again he decides to fight Addy's kind of fight. Much better when he gets that little bit of distance between them.
Good shots from Booth though. Really warming into this. Big talk from the Addy camp beforehand as they arrived to take the Commonwealth belt back to Accra. Easier said than done when you're working against and you've got to outwit somebody like Booth.
Nicely, right hand lead, there goes another one. Yeah, there's the look of a man who reckons he's solved the job out. Now move in and get the job done. Just has still to pay this fellow respect. He's still strong, he's still tough, and still in good shape. But Booth boxing nicely.
Yep, still competitive for the moment, Addy. These punches, touch more devil in them from Booth. Static head of Addy, easy target. Booth in control.
There's probably just that bit of class difference between them, so I just hope Jason Booth keeps using that class and doesn't allow himself to be dragged into a brawl. He's picking them beautifully.
Excellent ring movement as well from Jason Booth, and another good round. Nottingham favourite Jason Booth, boxing well here.
Okay, suck it in from the side, suck it in.
Taking his time.
Okay, good.
And he's thrown more. You can see there, Jim, all the quality with Booth.
Corners 10 seconds.
Yeah, Booth picking them nicely. It's as though he's solved it out. Has the plan in his mind, just in case they're carrying
Seconds
that
out,
out.
round 6.
Keep his concentration. No reason he should be losing his title tonight.
235th round in the long career of Jason Booth. 96th for Lante Addy, giving away this gap in experience. And as you rightly said in the last round, I think class to Booth, who's been in with some decent men, likes of Dale Robinson and David Giraud and Alexander Mamutov. He wants a European title. He's not just happy with his Commonwealth belt, Jason Booth.
Well, I think Addy has realised he has to change things. He's raised the pace here, getting some punches home. So this is when Booth just wants to use the smarts a little bit, just think what he's doing, don't get involved.
Doesn't want to run out of gas as well down the stretch. He's been in some hard fights, Jason Booth. Was a bit rusty and didn't quite have enough against Ian Napa when they met last summer. I know he wants to fight Napa for a third time. He got an earlier win in his career over the rejuvenated, revitalised Hackney boy.
Well, this is Addy's kind of fight he's having in this round. Addy obviously realising he has to change things. They're both looking quite happy to stand in there. Don't see the need for that. No fans not complaining, of course.
Phil Edwards having very little to do apart from getting that red thread off the head of Lante Addy and counting for the knockdown by that left hook in the third. It's gone southpaw again, Booth.
Break! One step back.
And
Well,
back.
This is good action here, but I'm surprised that this early Booth wants to stand his ground.
Slugging away, Addy. Fit enough, isn't he?
Yep, and he's got a lot of punches on target this round. It's probably the best round we've seen from him, maybe at least a share so far, unless Booth can put the pedal down in the last half minute here.
Putting in these body shots now, Jason Booth. Leaning on Addy. But you're right, he's changed his tactics.
I mean, he's comfortable, he's changed his tactics, he's fighting Addy's kind of fight, but he looks comfortable with it, so it's not a drastic mistake. But I'm just surprised because things have been working so well the last couple of rounds. This has been a tough round for him. Not much in it because he's taken some in, but maybe again just the accuracy from Booth, maybe just allowing him to nick it. I wonder if he'll stick with this.
Good round in terms of action. And backstage, there he is, Rendell Munro. What a night for him. A huge opportunity to gate crash into the big league. Can he step right up and conquer the European champion Kiko Martinez, who has never been beaten, amateur or pro? It's a tough ask, but I tell you what, Jim, some people here think he's going to do it.
Yeah, and I think the time is right for him. It's a shot that comes right out of the blue, nothing to lose whatsoever. He knows he has a British title fight in the offing as well, so it's a great chance for him. He's right to take it, and you have to give him a chance. We don't know how good the champion is. We know he can punch, so obviously Munro doesn't want him to give him the chance to prove that too early.
Sharp on the pads there
round 7.
with trainer Jason Shinfield, who's never won a European title. Jason Shinfield is a trainer and will relish it tonight. The Commonwealth Bantamweight belt on the line here, and second half of this affair between Jason Booth and Lante Addy. Addy's been on the deck, but he hasn't given up, and he's proved competitive and resilient. Booth well on top though.
Well, you have to assume that Booth has never been troubled by the snap in Addy's punching. The body shots have looked pretty solid, but they're not going through cleanly. So Booth perfectly happy just to stand there and out punch him.
Yeah, sometimes he's admitted he has been drawn in, Jason Booth, to have a toe-to-toe fight. Please the fans, good uppercut, uses that for the first time, Booth. And he comes back with body shots. He's a hard man, this Ghanaian. Might not be the most skillful, but he's toughing this out.
He had a bit of a drive in the previous round, Addy. I wonder if that's taken a little bit out of him. He's punching just looking a little bit tired at the beginning of this round. We'll see if he sharpens up. I mean, Booth also may feel that the strength sapping away from him up close, because he's looking very comfortable. It's not the way I would tell him to go about it, but he's looking comfortable the way he's doing it. So, carry on with it.
He also seemed fairly comfortable against Matthew Edmonds last time out, the Welshman. The novice gave it a real go, but Booth tucked up and outlasted him in 9 rounds. He's clever, Booth.
Yeah, very clever, and digging in some real solid punches there. So he obviously feels he has the more damaging punching of the two, and he's happy to stay up close. Good for the fans, they're certainly not complaining.
Still trying, Addy, to get these body shots in.
Just a little bit crude at times, Addy. You know exactly what he's about to do, and against a wily old fox like Jason Booth, he can take full advantage of that.
Yes, his upper body movement isn't the best, is it, Addy?
He's just so obvious and so predictable, so I think a couple of rounds ago Jason thought, right, I know what the job is, confident in what he's doing, he just carried on with that.
He's stiff, isn't he, Addy?
Yeah, and you know exactly what's coming from him. Another good round from Booth.
They're trying to get through the foot. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, yeah? All right? What I want you to do is pepper him up here, all right? And try and bang him out.
Tried all the shots on
Yeah,
that.
it's took every one of them.
Everyone.
Everyone, okay. So all I want now is them combination. Now, it's counter-punching. Yeah. All right? So let's fake. Fake banging, okay? But you've got to come in with a combination, 2 to 3, all right? Fake and combination, please, all right? All right? I don't want you to take any silly shots, all right? Yeah? And then,
Fucking baguette, some.
Admitting there, Jason Booth, that he is tough, Addy. Is there a slight danger that he could blow in these last few rounds?
I don't think so. He's boxing at his own pace. He's not been put under pressure. Addy's coming forward, but not pressurising. I think Booth is pretty happy the way things are going. No signs certainly of alarm or complaints from him in the corner.
White boots and the red trunks with the yellow and green tassels of Lante Addy. He's putting in a good effort to try and take this Commonwealth belt back to Africa. But Jason Booth must be well in front on the cards of Terry O'Connor, Mickey Vann and Dave Paris. But Addy is still going forward, and he's never really done anything else.
Yeah, looking a little bit livelier at the beginning of this round too. Getting a bit of leverage in the shots, but not the accuracy that Booth can come up with.
This Jason Booth territory, this is where he likes to really crank up the heat, apply the pressure. He's doing it to the body of Addy. Addy walking through some of these shots. They must have really got him into terrific shape. It's a credit to their team.
Yeah, well, right from the opening round, you could see he was strong, he was tough, he looked to have a fair bit of power in his punches. But Booth has never really allowed him to set anything up and sustain it.
Accra, of course, produced greats like Azuma Nelson, world champions like Alfred Cote. Lante Addy not anywhere near that sort of league. But they're all brought up the hard way. And then Booth just taps his chest as if to say, come on, I can do the macho stuff too.
Yeah, he took a couple of shots there and he tapped his chest as though to say, right, is that the best? Well, here comes mine. But again, fighting Addy's kind of fight, which good for the fans. A lovely punch. See, that's just the difference in class now and again becomes so evident between them.
Juicy uppercut again from Booth, who's moving his upper body and head well.
I mean, he's allowing Addy to keep some of these rounds pretty close because he's standing there. I mean, this is good work from Addy. This is as good a round again as we've seen from Addy.
This is cornermen. Dominic Jones, Obieni, and they're getting excited alongside us. But Booth comes back at the end of the 8th. No one's complaining about this action here in Nottingham. Honest and competitive, Jim.
Yeah, this is a good round. This really is a competitive round. They're probably the best that we've seen from Addy.
The reason is for the Commonwealth Bantamweight title, and it's been held by the greats over the years.
All right, how you feeling, yeah?
Digger Stanley, first recognised holder of this belt.
Yeah. Get some water, Jim.
1930 to 34, Dick Corbett had over 180 bouts.
Okay, a little bit more missing.
Scotsman Jackie Patterson, he was the former world flyweight champion. Popular Liverpool fighter, of course, Alan Rudkin. 3 times he held this belt.
Concentration on what you're doing. All right.
Walter McCowan, again from Scotland. He took the title from Alan Rudkin. There was Johnny Owen. Tragic story of Johnny Owen, but he was a good fighter. And this man, Jason Booth's brother, Nicky Booth. He held it for 2000 to 2002. We hear Nicky Booth is trying to make a comeback as well. And he'll be very happy that his elder brother, the elder statesman, the quiet, more introverted one of the Booth clan, is boxing so well at this stage of his career.
Yeah, when you always get the impression if Booth had to do something else, he could do that, but he seems quite happy standing his ground. The rounds are a little bit closer than necessary, if you like, if he wanted to think his way around a little bit more. But I think he enjoys a tear-up, as we've already said, enjoys pleasing the fans. That's what he's doing.
And he's been 12 rounds 8 times before. He knows the distance, how to pace himself, picking these shots well. Good volley, good combination. This is the round that he finally caught up with Matthew Edmonds.
And again, just that little show of class whenever he decides.
Yeah, the Right hand working a treat for Booth, and he's had 6 credited knockouts on the record. Sure, he needs knockdowns and a knockout now. He must be so far behind, but his spirit's still with him.
Booth's defence is nice and tight as well. He's standing his ground here, but he's tightened his defence. He's up, outworking Addy, and the accuracy, the difference in accuracy is evident.
Yeah, levels and class and quality moves from Jason Booth, just like that. He knows how to glide around the ring and use every part of it.
See, I thought he would do stuff like that in the early rounds, because this fellow would be so easy to cause to miss, because he's so obvious what he's doing. But can't fault the way Jason's gone about it. He's putting a little bit of a show on now, I think.
Body to head from Booth, trapping Addy on the ropes again, whose courage has never been in question. Good chin, good endurance, Addy's shown, but in terms of skills, he's not on the same wavelength as Booth.
Yeah, Booth's put a bit of a show on in this round.
Over the shoulder, son.
Just making it obvious who has the class.
Not with the shoulder, Phil Edwards said. And Jason Booth turned to him as if to say, sorry, I've done everything else right. He's been an engaging, likeable fighter, Booth, through his career. And still, it goes on and we enjoy him. Almost exhibition stuff here from Jason Booth. And coming up, here's the man we were mentioning earlier. 17 out of 17, 14 by knockout. And in under a minute and a half, he blew away Bernard Dunn when he was over in Dublin recently. We don't know how good he is really at the longer distances, Jim, but early we do.
Yeah, but we know also a Spanish champion who's prepared to travel with his title is fairly unusual, so obviously he's confident, his camp have confidence in him. I mean, he's already agreed twice to go to Ireland, now he's over here. He's putting his title on the line here, so he reckons he's as good as his record suggests. We'll find out.
Confident look about Martinez, and why not?
Round 10.
Plenty of self-belief in the work of Jason Booth here. He's almost gliding his way through now this Commonwealth Bantamweight defence. It's always been watchable though, because Addy has kept trying and he's thrown punches. His work rate's been good, if not accurate and as effective.
Yeah, but he just, you know, basic skills he's maybe a bit short on, but certainly nothing else. He's a little bit predictable, a little bit obvious in what he's doing, a little bit crude. And that's not going to work against Jason Booth when he's firing, and he really is firing tonight.
Left hook, Addy can place to the referee, left his hands down, and Jason Booth didn't follow up there. Showed him some respect when he could have done.
I think protect yourself at all time is the phrase they should be reminded of. I think that the feet came together, I think they stood on each other's toes. I think Addy felt that Booth should have stepped back, but nothing in the rules to cover that.
Lucky man there, Lante Addy. Switch hitting, boxing well here, Booth. Will fancy also a crack at the European champion, Carmelo Bologna. He's from Belgium, and Booth doesn't think he's up to much, thinks he's beatable. He says he really wants that blue belt around his waist, having had the 3 attempts at flyweight.
Yeah, that's what I meant when I said that a couple of little bits of luck at certain times he could have a completely different career. This is not a good round for Booth. He's taken too many shots here. We saw an exhibition in the previous round. I wonder if there's a little dip in concentration. This is not his best round, and taken more than he needs to take.
must be annoyed, Booth, that Addy's still there, still sucking up these punches. Spot of eye damage for Booth, just a bit marked up. I mean, your concentration has to be at all times. You've got to keep going, even when it is one-sided.
Yeah, well, his demeanour in the previous round suggested that, as though the job was already done. It's not done until the final bell. So I think this is maybe the first round that I'm going to be giving to Addy. Maybe deserved a share of one or two of the earlier ones, but Booth a little bit sloppy in this round. Get his mind back on the job, I think.
A good attacks from Lante Addy. Sloppy around from Booth. And still 6 minutes left after this. Is he having a breather?
Two to go, Jim. All right? Yeah. It's okay. Come on. Yeah. Have a swim.
Just a little tired now, Booth.
Yeah, well, he put a little show on in the previous round at the 10th, and the 9th. At Rizzo, maybe he thought the job was done. And then that was where they stood on each other's toes, and then Booth threw the punch, which he's perfectly entitled to do. Addy maybe felt she just tangled up, but defend yourself at all times. I mean, that was certainly a show of inexperience from Addy.
Only one more to the body from Booth, plenty to the head and plenty in total as well. That surprises me, the body shot statistic.
Seconds out,
I think it's the fact that Addy has thrown so many body shots because they had no success to the head for long spells.
Well, the return to Nottingham has been good for Jason Booth so far.
Forgot his gum shield, I think. Forgot his gum shield.
It's not in, and he wanted Phil Edwards to stop it for him.
I actually thought it was a clash of heads. He was complaining about it at first, and realised it was the gum shield.
You've always got to keep your eye on the ball, haven't you, when Jason Booth's in the ring? Again, big punches from Addy, who's trying to finish strongly.
Well, it still looks as though he has something in the tank, just a bit of tape coming loose from his glove, which is unfortunate because this is a good little spell from him. He'll want to keep this going.
Phil Edwards haven't spotted it yet. That tape is loose. Left hand he has now. And the momentum will go. Obviously told him that he needs a big drive. Lante Addy. Booth looking in his corner. Talking to the camera here.
It's amazing, a good spell from Addy, and look at the time the corner are taking to get the glove and get him back into action. Amazing.
Still stubborn, Addy. Booth needs to be smart. Bobbing and weaving, that's a good sign. Hands down of Booth. These clubbing shots of Addy. I mean, he'll still throw them, won't he? Until the final bell.
Yeah, now that the pace has slowed that little bit, those crude punches become that little bit more effective. Good right hand lead from Addy. So I wonder, does Jason think the job's done? I have enough rounds in the bank maybe to come off the gas. Always dangerous. Good right hand again and again from Addy.
He's just throwing out the punches, Addy. Even though he has to walk into one or two. It's a good effort from this. Booth raising his fist, playing to the crowd. Tony Harris trying to lift the fans to rally behind Booth.
So I think that might be the only fault, just the concentration. You want to keep your mind on his job. His title's at stake here. Okay, he's never been troubled by the power. But you don't want to become sloppy. Such a good performance up until now. Holding inside now. Not impressive stuff now from Jason Booth.
Good last couple of rounds, Addy. He's left it very, very late. Hard night's work for the pair of them. Booth, the quality operator with shots like that. The edge in class and the rounds. But Addy, well, he really has sucked it up and dug in deep. Tired rounds from Booth.
Don't make a mistake this round, last round.
Yeah? Now, go on, have a spit, have a spit, have a spit.
Never come on, don't help me.
Yeah, right?
I know I'm all right.
What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Be
Okay.
careful, aren't I?
Sorry. Yeah, okay.
Just warn me. What?
Towel.
Now me, I want
Last
more
round,
time.
Jay.
Yeah, I want to wipe your neck.
Don't cock it up now.
Towel.
Don't knock it hard. Hope you get showing you're ready for this last round.
Jason, last round, touch gloves, okay?
Yeah?
Hope you
Yeah,
get
it's all
early.
good, Jay. It's all good, yeah?
Show him you've got it.
All right?
Get up early.
Last round.
Coughing and spluttering a bit. I don't think they would want it to be a 15-round fight like the old days, Jim.
No, you're possibly right, but I think they know the job's done as long as nothing silly happens. So mind on the job, never mind moving to the crowd or showboating. Just keep it tight.
Booth lost his last couple of fights that had gone the full distance to Ian Napper and Damien Kelly. Did beat Dale Robinson, Lunga and Dontella over the 12-round distance. You've got him winning easy.
Yeah, I've got it fairly wide for Booth there. But a share of a round in the last couple of rounds too, Addy. So can't turn this around. Points-wise, hasn't shown the power to stop Booth. So I would think Jason should be going home with the title, but just put a nice little finisher on a good night's work.
Yep, the knockdown in the third round with the left hook. Set up Jason Booth on his way. 10th and 11th. Well, not vintage Booth. But probably frustrated because he had got rid of Addy around the middle rounds.
Well, there have never been any signs that he should have. Even the knockdown, Addy wasn't badly hurt. So, I mean, that from the halfway stage, it looked like a fight was going to go the 12. No, I just think a little bit of showboating from Jason, which, well, he's a character, let's remember that.
But isn't it tough, Jim, when you're so in control and your punches are just not having that much effect? The other guy keeps on coming and putting pressure back on you.
Yeah, but I think Jason's been in that position before. He's not a massive puncher, so I mean, a lot of his title fights will go the distance, so I don't see it being a complaint he would find. And he's boxed well tonight.
I think it's the pedigree, the technical ability and the experience that Jason Booth has notched up over the years. At times, those cameos, the flashes are fantastic. How far can he go now at this late stage?
Well, I mean, it's difficult to see him going much further. I suppose the European title is not out of the question. I mean, obviously Jason's not quite what he was, still performing well. So I wonder maybe just a couple of paydays at this level, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's had a good career.
Yeah, world level, I'm sure is beyond him. Jerry Panalosa, possibly the best around. Also Vladimir Sidorenko and Joseph Agbeko, the African, holds the IBF title. Much better than Lante Addy, but you can't complain about Addy's commitment tonight. He's tried his very best. It hasn't been good enough. And still, they throw punches at each other. Good work rate all the way through, clean fight. And Jason Booth has put on another decent display and will surely retain the Commonwealth title.
Thank you. All right.
Sure he want a bit of a rest after that. Almost 900 punches thrown from each. That's fantastic effort and commitment. And there you can see the added class on the left.
Yeah, of course, he certainly took his foot off the gas a little bit in the last quarter of the fight, but the job was done by then. I have a fairly clear victor, as you can see. The last 3 rounds, I thought Addy just landed the better punches, mainly because Booth seemed to his concentration dipped, but the job was done, and it was an excellent performance.
Yep, the key is to hold on to your Commonwealth title. Mickey Van, who was in front of us, enjoyed it. Terry O'Connor, Dave Parris, and the 3 judges, not official yet, but the crowd singing the Booth name all over again here at Harvey, Hadden. Seems a long time ago, doesn't it? We were last here.
It certainly does. Always good value. I don't think we've ever seen him in a poor fight, and tonight was another good one. Very competitive all the way through, although he was in control for most of it. Good night's work.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to our judges' scorecards. Judge Terry O'Connor scores the contest 118 to 110 points. Judge Dave Harris scores it 117 to 111 points. And Judge Mickey Van scores it 118 to 111 points for your winner and still Bantamweight champion of the Commonwealth, Jason Booth.
Unanimously, well-deserved, good fight. Jason Booth retains his Commonwealth crown.
Johnny Nelson, your interpretation of that performance from Jason Booth?
I think Booth was not, he took control of the fight from the off. He used his experience and his knowledge. He's got to be among the most experienced of the bantamweights in Europe at the moment, and he's using that knowledge to control most of the young up-and-comers coming around.
Should he have capitalised more after knocking Addy down in the 3rd round?
No, I don't. I think he did the right thing, controlling the pace, so he didn't extend himself, so he wasn't tired towards the back end of the fight. He showed discipline, he showed control. The last 2 rounds were a bit raggedy, but then again, he worked all the way through from round 1 to round 11. He worked very, very hard. He did a really good job.
Okay, coming next, our main event, the European Super Bantamweight title fight between Kiko Martinez and Rendell Munro.